All right, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to Coming Off the Bench. We are here for the third episode of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, whether you are here live on stream or you're watching on demand on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. And while you're here, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, get some more eyeballs here on this channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, but without further ado, we'll stop the intro, we'll stop all this other stuff. Let's get into today's topics. We're going to be here for about, I want to say, 45 minutes to about an hour. I kind of want to keep this show a little bit relatively short, just because I feel like a lot of these topics that we're going to dive into today have kind of been already fleshed out. But today, let's start off with reaction to last night's domination by the Detroit Lions against their former big brothers, the Green Bay Packers, now without Aaron Rodgers. Um, just an absolute beatdown last night, 34-20. A lot of Lions fans in Lambeau Field. You were kind of like, at least for me, I was kind of shocked that there were so many, Lions fans especially, but just opposing fans in Lambeau Field. I know Green Bay and Lambeau Field is like one of the most iconic places in all of American football, but at the same time, it's just like seeing a bunch of blue in that stadium is just so jarring to me. It feels so weird, but anyways, the Lions look legit, and as a Browns fan, I can say I am very happy to see that the Detroit Lions are a good football team again because for so long they have had to deal with so much BS with ownership, with different regimes, different quarterbacks, their teams not succeeding, and finally I think this is the year that a lot of their hard work that Dan Campbell especially has put in is going to finally pay off because a lot of people remember back in 2021 when uh, they took Penei Sewell. Everybody thought he was going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals, but then they took Jamar Chase. He's been having a really good season. That offensive line has been pretty good this season as well. We have to talk about too. For me, I think is the guy that's getting most overlooked and the topic that I don't think has been nearly talked about enough to, uh, you know, a topic that I don't think has been talked about enough. That's the fact. Uh, oh my God, I'm just like that. Aiden Hutchinson. I was thinking about Aiden O'Connell, the guy from Vegas. I don't know why, but Aiden Hutchinson, that dude is scary good. And the fact that he did not go number one, the fact that Trayvon Walker went number one to the Jacksonville Jaguars is still mind boggling to me because, yes, Trayvon Walker is decent, but Aiden Hutchinson looks like he's going to be a scary, scary defensive end for a long, long time. Um, the Lions defense was just absolutely hounding Jordan Love last night. Just absolutely not giving him any time in the pocket whatsoever. Granted, Packers were injured to hell and back. Their left tackle David Bakhtiari, he is out for the year with a knee injury. So you've got a backup left tackle in there. You've got a bunch of other injuries on that team as well. Jair Alexander's out in that secondary. A lot of other guys have been out on the Packers, but still, to see where the Lions, you give up a interception deep in your own territory, and you're able to hold the Packers to 3 points. You know, at that point, I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, maybe the Packers can get some momentum here. Um, and it's just like to see how the Lions were able to dominate that game was very impressive to me because I think Jared Goff, he doesn't need to be good on this team. I don't think he needs to be good. The Lions have a possibility of having their defense carry them. I have to say, if I'm trying to think of the team that they remind me of, or at least I can compare them to in the NFL. I was trying to think about it early today because really their main strength for me at least is their defense. Their defensive line has been hounding so many quarterbacks this season. It's been insane. Granted, they've played less than stellar competition. Playing at least not less than stellar competition. They played the Chiefs week 1. They got to Patrick Mahomes. Granted, Kelsey was not there. Seahawks week 2. Um, then the Falcons week 3. Then Packers week 4. But they've been successful throughout the entire season so far. Jared Goff does not need to be good for this team to be successful. I think this team should win the NFC North. I think that was pretty clear from last night's game. Packers and Lions were both 2-1 coming into this game. But the Lions look hell of a lot more legit than the Packers do right now. Like, the Packers should be 1-2. Let's be honest here. They came back to the Saints, even though that they were down 17-0 going into the fourth quarter. They were going up against Joe Woods' defense. And the big thing, Derek Carr with that AC joint sprain in his shoulder knocks him out for the rest of the game. So then you have famous Jameis go in. Not necessarily the hardest opponent to deal with at that point, for me at least. Granted, it's still the NFL. Everybody's up there for a reason, but Jameis Winston is still not that great of a quarterback. You don't have a Derek Carr, who's probably like in the top 15 quarterbacks in the league. Definitely going to be easier for you to get into the end zone. Then you're going up against Joe Woods' defense. Yeah, it's going to be easier for you to get an 18-point comeback. Not saying that wasn't impressive at all. Don't get me wrong, but they should be 1-2 going into last night. Jordan Love. Jordan Love was not great yesterday. Let's be honest here. He was very inaccurate with his throws yet again. I think he was under 60% completion rating percentage for the night again. Had a touchdown. I don't know if he ran one in, but another pick as well. He's still got a ways to go to being a successful quarterback in this league. I know Green Bay has just been spoiled with the last 2 quarterbacks they had. Brett Favre, then you go on to Aaron Rodgers. Now you're starting to deal with the after effects of having 2 Hall of Fame all-time great quarterbacks to a average quarterback in they had QB success for 30 years. Now they're dealing with what everybody else has had to deal with just average QB play, average to below average QB play. And it's fun to see that the Packers are finally dealing with the rest of us. But no, I mean the Lions look scary for the NFC right now. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. I think some people are getting way over themselves thinking that the Lions could be Super Bowl contenders. I've been seeing so many this is a preview of the Browns Lions Super Bowl. No, I know it's probably joking, but still, I'm not going that far. But I definitely feel like they could be, the 3 seed in the NFC. I still think, Philly, San Francisco, those are going to be your 1 and 2. Detroit is probably going to be that 3 seed, and then I don't know who's going to come out of the South. Maybe Saints, Buccaneers. I have no clue. Maybe the Falcons could come out of the NFC South. Who knows? But the Lions look really scary this year. I think they're a couple pieces away, maybe another year or 2. Then I think if they can keep up this level of success for at least another year or 2, you could start thinking of the Lions as a Super Bowl contending team. And I know that's weird for anybody to say right now, but the Detroit Lions in about a year or 2 could become Super Bowl contenders, and I'm all here for it because, as a Browns fan with the Lake Erie Alliance, I'll gladly support the Detroit Lions or the Buffalo Bills in a Super Bowl. I'm glad to see the Detroit Lions are having some success. Their fans are actually seeing some good quality football. I mean, I definitely see this team maybe going to the divisional round this season. Maybe, facing a wild card team the first game, then making it past the wild card team, then going to the divisional round, and then maybe they end up facing someone like Dallas or or I'm trying to think, San Francisco, Philly, whatever. But I definitely feel like their ceiling right now is a divisional round game. Hopefully, it's at home. I'm not there yet on Super Bowl. I would love to see I would love to see the Lions go to a Super Bowl. I would love to have a Browns Lions Super Bowl. I think that is the best matchup that we could possibly have as fans in the NFL and fans in Detroit and Cleveland. Plus, I think a 2 hour drive between the two teams, between the two cities, it's going to make for an awesome fan experience for both sides. Um, but no, like I said, Lions, I think their biggest thing is they just don't need they need Jared Goff not to turn the ball over on offense. They've got a good running game with David Montgomery. Jahmyr Gibbs finally had some touches, even though he only had 8 touches, and I think David Montgomery had 32 touches for like 121 yards and 3 tutties. Jahmyr Gibbs finally getting some action on the field, even though they drafted him very high. I don't know what's going on with him over in Detroit. But you still got Khalif Raymond has been showing some pretty good things. They've got Josh Reynolds, that other receiver. He's been showing out. He's been having some big plays. Then Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's still a stud wide receiver as well. Still mad that the Browns took Anthony Schwartz over him. That we just don't need to talk about that at all. But Amon-Ra St. Brown showing out for the Lions right now. This team, like I said, division round uh, game, I think is very much in the possibility for them. I would be shocked if they get past the divisional round. If they go to NFC Championship game, I don't see that. But if they did, that's a huge achievement for the Lions. I think that's a huge achievement for the Lions that they can build on. But like I said, they're about a couple pieces away on offense. I think if they get a better quarterback, I'd be more inclined to believe that they could be a Super Bowl contending team. I think Jared Goff is decent, but do I think he's going to like take you to the Super Bowl? I don't know. I know he did it with the Rams, but the Rams defense was really good on his team. Don't get me wrong. He was pretty good as well. But I just don't think that he's going to take you to the Super Bowl with this current roster right now. I would be more inclined to think that if they had another quarterback, they had a better quarterback, maybe if Lamar went there like I wanted him to go to Detroit and not to Miami, I would like to see, a more established, better quarterback in Detroit to make me believe that they could be Super Bowl contenders. But like I said, 1 or 2 years away. It's not that big of a deal. They're probably going to go to the playoffs just because the NFC is so bad. But that's my thing. Packers, I don't know what you're going to do just because this season is marred with injuries right now. You should be 1-3, but you're not. You're 2-2. You're still in it with the division. Although I think that last night showed that the Packers are much weaker than they thought they would be, and that the Lions are probably going to be the team to beat in this division. Because the Vikings, they're not going to go anywhere, I don't think. I said this last year when they were, 13-4, 14-3, or whatever. I said last year they were not a good team. The Minnesota Vikings are not a good team. They're a fluke team, okay? Their defense is not that good. They play a game called What the Fuck is Defense. They're not good. Kirk Cousins has been handing the ball out like it's Halloween candy. He's been turning it over so many times. Justin Jefferson really is like the only saving grace on that team right now. He's probably going to want out very soon because they're sucking so bad right now. I just don't see what the Vikings are going to do. They're probably going to win this week, though. We'll get into that later with the predictions. They'll probably win this week with going into Carolina. But the Vikings, I don't think, are going to be a threat this season for the NFC North. They may be in a wild card spot if they start, getting some wins together, but I don't see that. Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. I haven't made a video about the Chicago Bears, but my God, I think the Chicago Bears. I'm gonna come out and say it. The Chicago Bears have turned into the old Cleveland Browns, and I have been every time I have read about the Chicago Bears and stories about the Chicago Bears and reports, I just get flashbacks to like old Cleveland Browns teams because they're doing the same exact stuff that we did back like not even like 10 years ago. Like we drafted, Johnny Manziel. I think right now Justin Fields is not a good quarterback. Let me make that clear. But this season reminds me of like the 2014 season with Johnny Manziel or 2015 season with Johnny Manziel, where where like they're just not good. They're just not good. You have off the field issues with your defensive coordinator, with the FBI raiding his goddamn house. You have no idea what that's about. Matt Eberflus is like looking around his sideline, wondering what the fuck he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Your defense is terrible. You've got a receiver that you traded for last season that doesn't want to be there, in Chase Claypool, who looks like he could give two shits about being a football player. Who would have thought that after the 2021 or 2020 playoffs where he was like chatting shit about the Cleveland Browns, even though he got his ass handed to him. Justin Fields looks broken. He's tossing play callers and coaches underneath the bus, causing him to have to pull a PR stunt in public at practice with Matt Eberflus to hug him in front of reporters and cameras. I mean, are we just not going to talk about how they are the new Cleveland Browns? They are the new Cleveland Browns. They are the new old Cleveland Browns. For Justin Fields' sake, he needs to get out of Chicago. What needs to happen for Justin Fields' sake is that the Chicago Bears have to go into full-on tank mode and go into a tank war with the Arizona Cardinals and go, fuck you, we want Caleb Williams, we're taking him. We are taking Caleb Williams away from Arizona. He does not want to go to Arizona. He does not want to go to Chicago, but god damn it, we're going to make it happen because Justin Fields is not working out. We need to have someone. We need Caleb Williams, who's looking like an absolute G right now in college at USC. We're gonna have to see a tank war between Arizona and Chicago. That's what's gonna have to happen. Like, if you're Chicago, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You have nothing. You have nothing going for you right now. You traded Roquan Smith a couple years ago to the Ravens. You really have not seen anything work out. Khalil Herbert had some good carries last season. He hasn't really done anything this year. I mean, what are you going to do? You have nothing. DJ Moore, you traded for DJ Moore. You thought that was going to be the thing that was going to unlock Justin Fields. You're going to have a deep threat on your receiving core. That hasn't panned out. Now he wants out after 3 games. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, it's just insane. It's insane. If I know, like Chicago, I think they've lost 14 straight games too. Like, they are the new Cleveland Browns. I have been thinking about this the entire time. And like, they're not going to be in contention for years. They are legitimately screwed. They are legitimately screwed. They're not going to be contender. This division, the NFC North, this is all Detroit. This is Detroit. Unless they fall flat on their face and just absolutely trip over themselves, they are going to be NFC North champions. They're going to win this division. Because I don't know if the Packers are going to be, I think they're going to be like a 500 team, maybe a little bit below 500. I think in my predictions video before the season started, my record prediction video, I had them like going 8-9, 7-10 or something like that. I definitely feel like that's a possibility because they should be 1-3. But no, Detroit should win this division very easily. And I would expect them to be the 3 seed in the NFC this season. But yeah, Chicago, I want to make a whole entire video about Chicago and just the timeline. Other people may have already done it better than me, but I kind of want to give my 2 cents. But that's really my like TLDR like take on the Chicago Bears. They are just it's a train wreck. It's a train wreck out there. Let's see. We got some chats here. What's up? Hey, what's going on? See, thank you so much for coming out here on your Friday morning, Friday afternoon. President, we need to pay Chubb and Garrett $1 billion. Garrett, I would agree with. But Chubb, I don't think he's going to get that much money just because of his injury. So I want him to come back. I think the Browns are way better with him as a running back, but we'll see. He is getting a surgery today on his knee, though, so hopefully that works out well. But yeah, I mean the Lions should be able to be NFC North champions this season because I mean the Vikings and the Bears are train wrecks right now. The Packers, you have no idea what they are. Jordan Love is still a question mark. You have no idea what's going on with him. So we'll see. We will see what's going on with the Packers. But yeah, the Lions did a good job yesterday. I think they definitely put themselves on the map in the NFL, especially in the NFC. I think they're going to be contenders for the next couple of years to come. But okay, moving on. We spent about 20 minutes on the Lions and the NFC North. That's pretty good. All right, moving on. We're going to be talking about the Browns and the Ravens coming up here on Sunday, just about 48 hours away. I think we're about 49 and a half hours away. So we're almost there. One more game until the bye week too. So definitely excited for this game. The Ravens are injured to hell and back. They are injured to hell and back. No OBJ, no Rashad Bateman, no Marlon Humphrey. Ronnie Stanley Jr. is back and practicing, and then Tyler Linderbaum back and practicing, but they were both limited at practice, so they're banged up still. Gus Edwards still in concussion protocol, I think. He may not go. I mean, the Ravens are just absolutely injured, both defensively and offensively. They are injured to hell and back. I saw Urinating Tree made a video. I think it was a sports ball video for week 3. He was like, he literally called their injury report like a Pro Bowl injury report, and it's so true. But yeah, I definitely think the Browns are able to take advantage of the Ravens' injuries. But I did want to talk about a certain something regarding the Ravens, and I just wanted to talk about the comments made by a certain linebacker named Roquan Smith, who talked to the media the other day and had this to say. And this is from BrownsWire.com. He goes on to say, after talking to reporters, about how his wife, kids, and everyone is there to watch them, meaning the Browns. So we're going to go over there and beat their tails in front of their wife and kids. So when you think about it from that perspective, any man is going to fight till the death at that point. I know if that's me in that case, I know I would. So I think about it from that standpoint. I'm just going in just like I prepared for any other game. Play till you hear the whistle, play physical, and hit anything that moves. So, again, I don't know if Roquan Smith did not learn from Jamar Chase. I don't know if he didn't learn from Juju Smith-Schuster. But when you give the Browns bulletin board material, they tend to come out very ramped up. And I don't know if he wanted to say that with the Browns defense playing really all-time great defense. right now. Um, so legit, like also too, like why would you go? Why would you talk about fighting a dad in front of his wife and kids? Like where did that go from? Where did that come from? But anyway, the Cleveland Browns, when they're given bulletin board material from other teams, from other players, they tend to whoop ass. And there's been reports saying that the Browns have seen this comment. They have seen Roquan Smith's beat them in front of their wives and kids comment. And they're very pumped up, to say the least. They're very pumped up, to say the least. And I just like, have you learned nothing? Have you learned nothing? Do you not remember week one what Jamar Chase said about the Browns, about how Cleveland is Cleveland and they're just a bunch of elves? Have you not learned anything? Just say they're a tough opponent. We're going to be tough as well. It's going to be a physical game, and we'll see who wins, but I think we got a good shot. That's all you have to say. That's all you have to say. But instead, you wanted to give the Browns bulletin board material, and now they're probably going to be extra motivated to just absolutely destroy the Ravens. I'm all here for it personally. I go ahead, keep talking crap about the Cleveland Browns. They're probably going to use that as fuel to win. But like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? So Roquan Smith's comments definitely lit a fire underneath the Cleveland Browns. You know, Myles Garrett, I think, talked about it. I think David Njoku saw it on Twitter. He made a comment on Twitter, or Juan Thornhill did as well. So the Browns players are seeing this comment. I expect this game to be very gritty. I expect it to be very, very gritty. I don't know if it's going to be a defensive showdown like some other people are thinking. Um, but I just, I don't know. It all comes down to Deshaun Watson. That's the big thing. If Deshaun Watson goes and plays like he did against Tennessee, the Browns are going to win this game. If he goes back to Pittsburgh, Deshaun Watson, then I'll be worried. But it's all on Deshaun right now. Um, I will be concerned a little bit about Jadeveon Clowney just because he has a high pressure rate this season. He's been a little bit successful this year. And then Odafe Owe from Penn State, their player, he's pretty good as well on that defensive line. So they've got a couple of guys on that defensive line that I'm a little bit worried about, especially against the tackles too. I don't know if Jadeveon's going to line up on the left side or the right side. I'd rather have him lined up against DeJuan Jones just because I'm definitely more comfortable with DeJuan Jones blocking someone than I am with Jed Wells, because Jed Wells is half the time he's a human turnstile. So he literally just lets guys walk by and then he just watches them sack the quarterback. I mean, he's literally a human turnstile half the time. Half the other time, he's pretty good. He's decent. But the other half, human turnstile. But I'm very curious to see how the Ravens are going to match up with the Browns' offensive line, because the interior offensive line for the Browns is very solid. Wyatt Teller's been a little bit shaky for me recently. But, you know, Joel Bitonio, Ethan Postich have been holding their own this season. I think they've been pretty good so far. Wyatt Teller's been okay this season. DeJuan Jones, I think, is going to get better and better as the season goes on. He's still a fourth-round pick. Let's remember here. Jed Wills is the only one I'm worried about on that offensive line right now. But we'll see how the Ravens go out about that. If I'm the Ravens, if I'm the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, I would rather line up Clowney over on Jadeveon's side, or on Jed Wills' side, in order to get pressure on Deshaun. That's what I would do if I was the Ravens or any DC. That's going to be the big test, though, for the Browns. That's why I'm not overlooking the Ravens this week. I definitely think the Browns, we'll get into it later. I try not to get ahead of myself here. But I definitely think the Browns are going to be, you know, more successful in this game than they would be in, than they were in Pittsburgh. I think they've learned from Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. If I was, Stefanski, I would just try and get the ball out quick. Like Deshaun, I think likes the up tempo speed of the NFL. That's what he likes to do. And from some reports, from what I've seen, he does like to, he does like 2 minute drills. He likes doing that. Um, so I definitely think he had a talk with Stefanski about going more up tempo with uh, the offense, going more empty formations and that, going more passing, quick passes, then hit them with the deep ball, tire them out as well. Um, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they're going to approach the Ravens defense, because I don't know if they're like the most blitzing team, but I think they blitz a lot. Um, I think we're second in the league, and then the Vikings are first. I've heard the stat before, and I don't remember. I know we're number 2 in blitzes, and some other team is number 1. But the Browns definitely have a shot to win in this game. But like I said, it all comes down to Deshaun Watson. We'll see how he does. But they should be able to take advantage of the Ravens' injuries, and I would not be shocked if they come out and pull out a victory on Sunday the 1st. But, all right, done with the rambling about the Browns and the Ravens. We'll move on to the final segment of the show for today. And that is the Week 4 predictions. I'll give my thoughts, my opinions here. So, let me set this up here for you guys. Hold on here. All right, let's see if does this work. Trying to make sure it's not too zoomed in here. All right. Let's see. Let's move that there. Let's move my ass over here. Okay. So, let's get started with Week 4 predictions. I know I did miss Thursday night. I missed last night's prediction, but swamped with college stuff, class, all that other stuff. So, apologize for not getting my prediction video yesterday, but we're going to be doing it here on the show. So, first game we got here, Atlanta versus Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville just because they're at home. I do think it's going to be a shootout, though. Or not a shootout. Let me rephrase. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a defensive game all around. I think it's going to be low scoring. Jacksonville's offense, for some reason, has not been there this season. Besides the Indianapolis game, their offense has not been there. I definitely think it's probably going to be closer to 21-17, because I don't think the Falcons' offense is that much better. Though, I think it's going to be around that 21-17 mark. I'm going to take Jacksonville to win, though. But yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars need to get it going. They're lucky they're in the AFC South, because that division is very bad. But they need to get it going here if they want to get that AFC South title. Next up, this is my game of the week. Dolphins at Bills. Dolphins are coming off of that 70-point drubbing against the Denver Broncos. Bills are coming off their drubbing against the Commanders. Basically, battle of the Titans. Every single time they play each other, they played each other last year. It was a very good game both ways, both times. Met each other in the playoffs as well. Skylar Thompson took it to the Bills as well. They were pretty good. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. To win on the road in Buffalo. I definitely think the Dolphins are a real contender this year. If, they could be a shocking team. I didn't have that much faith in them this season. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know how much Tua was going to be, improved. I didn't think he was going to be this much improved. I didn't think the offense was going to be this well improved. If they can stay healthy, more importantly, if Tua can stay healthy, this team has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. This team is legit, both offensively and defensively. I think they're definitely legit. It's all on Tua though. If he stays healthy, they're gonna go far. They're gonna ride with Tua. He just needs to stay healthy. Hopefully, no more concussions with him. But yeah, I like the Dolphins to win here on the road in Buffalo. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Carolina Panthers. I saw a TikTok for this game and the next game that we're going to talk about where it was South Park and they were joking around about a cripple fight. I laughed my ass off. I laughed my ass off for these next two games. But we've got the Vikings at the Panthers. I don't know if Bryce Young's going to play, so it may be Andy Dalton versus Kirk Cousins. Kill me now. Kill me now. If you have to watch that game, if you are a Vikings fan or a Panthers fan, or if you live in an area where the Vikings and Panthers are getting shown to you, probably on Fox, I pray for you. I pray for you. I feel for you. I'm going to take the Vikings just because the Vikings, on paper, are a better team. They should be able to get a victory out of this game. I feel bad because I definitely think there's a possibility that this game is going to be a close game. But I think the Vikings are going to win. On the road in Carolina. It's going to be an ugly game now. Speaking of ugly, we got the Denver Broncos and the Chicago Bears. Oh my God. Oh my God. This one, I don't even know. I don't even want to pick a winner. That's how bad this is. I don't even want to pick a winner. If I have to pick a winner, I'm picking the Broncos just because the Chicago Bears, like we talked about earlier, are just so bad of a team and such a train wreck. Legitimately, if I'm a Chicago Bears fan, why would I ever want to go to another game this season? Why would I ever want to go to another game? I would be shocked if this stadium, if the Soldier Field is not at least like half empty. Maybe if there's like 30-40% Broncos fans, maybe even half Broncos fans, if half the stadium is empty. I just don't see any reason why you would want to go to a Chicago Bears game ever again this season. But if I have to pick a winner and someone has to win this game, one of them have to win, I'm going to have to pick the Broncos because I could see the Broncos winning a game at least. Next up, we've got the the Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. I think you guys know my pick. We talked about it earlier. I'm going with the Browns. The Ravens are too injured for me to be worried about them, at least to an extent to where I'm nervous about this game. The Browns defense is legitimately playing at an all-time historic great level. I think this defensive line is going to take advantage of the two injuries on the Ravens offensive line. If they can keep Lamar in the pocket, they're going to be successful. I think the Browns can get at least 3 sacks in this game. But it's all on Deshaun Watson on offense. If he can be successful on offense, if he can go back to the Titans game, if he can, continue with that performance, then the Browns are going to win. Then the Browns are going to win this game. But it's all on Deshaun Watson. He needs to perform. He needs to be Houston Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season in order for the Browns to go far. Next up, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Houston Texans. Steelers are coming off of their win against the Las Vegas Raiders on the road. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think it's going to be close. CJ Stroud, though. CJ Stroud has been playing pretty well as a rookie. I'm not going to be shocked if the Texans win, though. I think this is a trap game for the Steelers. I do think they're going to win still. I think it's going to be close because the Kenny Pickett in that offense is just not good. But I would not be shocked if the Texans win either. I'm going to pick the Steelers, though, to win. Next up, we've got the LA Rams at the Indianapolis Colts. Colts coming in a shocking 2-1 after beating the Ravens last week. Gardner Minshew against Matt Stafford. This is actually a trap game. I'm actually going to go with the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts can win this game. If they can defend against Aaron Donald in the defense, I think they're going to win. I think Matt Stafford is still dealing with that nerve injury a little bit. I think he's still dealing with some of the effects. He's just making some decisions right now that are just like, what are you doing? I don't understand some of the decisions he's making. They still have that, Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua. They've been, pretty good this season. I think this is the last game without Cooper Kupp. I think he's on the IR, so he may come back after this game. But yeah, I'm going to take the Indianapolis Colts to win this one. I think they're going to shock a lot of people and win this game. Next up, we've got the Buccaneers at the New Orleans Saints. Ooh, this one's going to be tough too because all depends on if Derek Carr is going to play. I don't know if he's going to play. I haven't seen anything to say that he isn't or he is. I have no clue. But if Jameis is playing, I'm going to take the Bucs, and if Derek Carr is going to play, I'm going to take the Saints. That is my thing. So I'm actually going to do a question mark on this one because I don't know if Derek Carr is going to play. Screw it. I have to pick one. I'm going to take the Bucs. I'm going to take Baker and the Bucs. I think they're going to win. They've had success historically against the Saints for some reason. I know it was Tom Brady, but I definitely think that they can win against the Saints. I'm going to take the Bucs. I'll do it. I'll sit off the fence. I'll get off the fence and pick a side. Next up, we've got the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles. Commanders coming off of their beating against the Buffalo Bills at home. Eagles are coming off their win against the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. I'm taking the Eagles. It's not going to be a game. It's not going to be close. Eagles are going to win. That defense is scary. Sam Howell played really bad against the Buffalo Bills. I think it's going to be come down to earth time for the Commanders. Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals against the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with the Bengals. Their offense still is not good. Joe Burrow's still injured. But they're a better team than Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill's cooked. Derrick Henry did not do well against the Browns' defensive front. Excuse me. The Bengals' defense is pretty good as well. I definitely think they're going to be able to stop Hopkins, Tannehill, and Henry. Give me the Bengals to win pretty easily against the Tennessee Titans. Next up, we've got the Battle of Mid. The LA Raiders, or the Las Vegas Raiders against the LA Chargers. I am not excited for this game at all. I am not excited for this game. Jimmy Garoppolo may be hurt. Could be Aiden O'Connell. We don't know. Jimmy Garoppolo, probably going to play. Justin Herbert, see how he does without Mike Williams, who's out for the year with the torn ACL. Keenan Allen's still there. Austin Eckler's still there. Their defense, though, is Swiss cheese. They also play the game. What the fuck is defense? I don't know. I'm going to pick the Chargers to win. Not excited about it. Not really too crazy about picking the Chargers, but if I have to pick one, I'm going to pick the Chargers. Next up, we've got the Patriots at the Cowboys. This is like the worst fan bases going up against each other right now. maybe top 5 worst fan bases with the Patriots and the Cowboys. I'd probably say if the Eagles and the Cowboys went there, or the Jets and Cowboys, then maybe it's like the battle of the two worst. But I'm going to take the Cowboys. Mac Jones, not that good of a quarterback. I still don't think he's that good. Defense for the Cowboys, we'll see how they function without Trayvon Diggs, who's out for the year with the torn ACL as well. Their first game without him, or their second game without him. We'll see how that's going to play out, but I'm going to take the Cowboys to win. I just think the Patriots are not that great. I'm going to take the Cowboys. Next up, we've got the Arizona Cardinals going on the road to the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers all day, every day. I don't think I have to explain myself. They're just a fantastic team. Brock Purdy's been pretty good. The defense is just immaculate. Cardinals got lucky. They definitely beat the Cowboys, but they're not going to beat the 49ers. I would be shocked if they beat the 49ers somehow, some way. Although they're going to be ruining their chances for Caleb Williams if Chicago continues to perform the way they have been performing. Then we've got the Sunday night matchup because God hates us. We have the Kansas City Chiefs against the New York Jets, who are now in their second of 6 or 8, one of the two, different primetime games because the NFL and God hates us for having fun on primetime games. And the fact that you cannot flex Sunday Night Football until like week 7 or week 8 or 6 through 8, one of the weeks, is just absolutely ridiculous. You can't even flex Thursday Night Football until like week 13 or week 15. Monday Night Football is like week 16. It's ridiculous. You should be able to flex these games all season long. But instead, we get stuck with Zach Wilson against Patrick Mahomes. Give me the Chiefs. It's going to be like a 43-14, or not even 43-14. It's going to be like a 45-6 blowout win for the Chiefs. They're on the road in New York or New Jersey. It's not even going to be close. Half that stadium, maybe even most of that stadium, is going to be Kansas City Chiefs fans because of Taylor Swift. Every 15-year-old girl is going to go down to that game just to see Taylor Swift. It's going to be a joke. Sunday Night Football is going to have one cam in the corner for Taylor Swift in the loge and another cam on Travis Kelce on the sideline, and they're going to say, they're going to ask Travis Kelce at halftime, so what do you think about Taylor Swift being at this game? It's going to be more on Patrick Mahomes and Taylor Swift than Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. So if you're a Jets fan and you're going to this game, pray for yourself because you are going to be surrounded by 15-year-old girls, and it's going to be a Taylor Swift concert as well as a football game. So enjoy that. But I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. Anyway, and then we got the Monday Night Football matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Giants. I'm going to go with the Seahawks to win in this one. I think they're going to be very good. Seahawks coming into their own, struggled a little bit against the Carolina Panthers and Andy Dalton, but then they got into their groove in the second half. I think this is going to be when they're going to start clicking. Geno Smith has been okay this season as well. But yeah, I'm going to take the Seahawks. Danny Derps, $40 million quarterback, still makes me laugh. But anyways, that is going to be it for this episode of Coming Off the Bench, episode 3. Thank you to everybody who has come out here on the stream. Thank you to everybody who's watching on demand on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Subscribe if you are new. Also, if you guys are feeling extra generous, Cash App here is at the bottom of the screen. It's the best way you can donate to the channel. Also, we have super thanks, super chat as well. Thank you to everyone who has already donated and supported this channel. Thank you to everyone who's already liked, who's already subscribed. Thank you so much for all of your support, and it makes me continue to make content here for you guys. But anyway, that's going to be it. We have been here for about 49 minutes, coming on 50 minutes. So thank you guys so much for coming out here on your Friday afternoon, Friday morning. And yeah, I will see you guys all Sunday morning for the Browns-Ravens preview stream. Make sure you guys